we are going to be doing 2 rounds of questions and then have an audience Q&A before we wrap it up with the final round of questions. Okay? All right. My first question goes to you, Hero Daniels. Yeah. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Welcome.
How you guys doing? What's happening now? You guys, are you heartbroken? I think a lot of single people are here. If you're single, make some noise. Aha, I said it.
So, Hero, today, many people know you through your game formats.
Yes.
Such as Finding Love with Hero Daniels, your Blind Dates Review, Beat for Love.
Right.
But like I said, your career has spanned across television, content, digital media. So what made you to know that content creation was something that you could chase and then you turned into like sustainable business and then different income streams?
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know. What time is it again? Afternoon, right? Not morning.
You have 5 minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Are we quarreling? Fantastic. So the question is, what made me know that content was the way to go, something I'd like to pursue? I started talking into empty tin cans as a kid. Started when I was 13. I had my first major broadcast at 13 at my then local station, Anambra Broadcasting Service. So I have always been talking all my life. As to the evolution, how I moved from television to creating shows on digital media, it was inevitable. I actually do have 2 original game shows with Africa Magic, big sets, big production. The first one is Complete Niger. The second one is Overall Best. They were 2 game shows that, people won large sums of money, millions of naira. And one thing I did notice when it comes to gamification, right, is, people are always rooting for somebody. The World Cup is happening right now. Everybody is like, oh, Ronaldo did not score. Messi scored a hat trick, So gamification, why are you clapping to that? So what I'm trying to say is that I did notice that across the different kinds of content I was doing, gamification was one that always worked. So yes, I decided to sort of start developing original formats. Hopefully I'm able to franchise it globally. But yeah, that was when I realized that, gamification is a way to go, and we've been doing it from then on. What was the second question? Oh, sustainable income. Bruh, I like money. I'm an Igbo man. A lot of people don't know that, right? How did I turn it into sustainable income streams? So for the digital platforms, right? Obviously, there are several revenue streams. There's the YouTube AdSense, there is the TikTok live gifts. Also, for those that know their way, there's also you can actually earn from views from TikTok as well. I earn on multiple platforms, but that is just the least in terms of the revenue. For me, majorly it's sponsorships, brands. And also when you are able to convert that attention into products, we from the dating shows, we began singles experience and we got Nigerian breweries on board. And even during the show, of course, there's gamification because you need to sort of keep people engaged. So we sort of earn a lot of money from our live experiences because we're able to build the audience, and we just didn't want a digital audience. We wanted to see the audience physically. And ever since then, we've taken singles experience to Ghana. So we've done Ghana, we've done Abuja, we've done Lagos, and we're going to do more countries as well. So yes, it's just different streams of income. I don't want to go too deep into it, but yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you, Hero Daniels. Next question is for Ify. So Ify, you left a successful career in law to build Ify's Kitchen. But before the brand partnerships, the awards, the millions of followers, and the communities, there were times when nothing was happening. So what happened during those seasons? And how were you able to turn them into what you're currently doing, and how many thousands of millions of community members that you have?
Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here, and thank you for the question. Right. So like you asked, before I, pivoted from law, how was it, right? What was the question again? Let me make sure.
So I asked that while you were a lawyer, you started Ify's Kitchen as a side hustle, and then you left law to build Ify's Kitchen full time. So there were times when nothing was happening. there was a period where there were no brand deals, there were no brand partnerships, no millions of followers. So what helped you to stay committed during that process?
Okay,
and then
right.
How did you turn that into building a sustainable
Okay,
business?
first thing I'll say, what made me pivot from law first into what I currently do, which is I create food content. I'm now a host of 2 shows on YouTube and a whole lot of other things, a TV host as well, is passion. Just passion for cooking. A lot of people, when I made my intentions clear that I was leaving law and, going to, as people say, cook, what? You're leaving the boardroom to the kitchen? How does that work? But it's passion. And when you have passion for something, nothing else makes sense to you. You just have to follow through. Some people are scared to follow through their passion, but I mean, your passion is what will make way for you, definitely. So along the line, I really didn't care if I had loads of followers or a large community. I just wanted to reach one person. If my whole aim was to simplify the act of cooking, because so many people I know wanted to put nutritious food on their tables, but didn't know how to do that. So I said, if I come in, and when I started putting out videos, there was no one on Instagram putting out cooking videos, So I created that part for myself. And I didn't do it because I wanted brand deals. I didn't even know anything about brand deals or monetization, to be honest. I was just a lawyer who had a regular 9 to 5, but I just wanted to share. I wanted to create value to someone. And so that was how I started. From 1 follower to 2 to 3, and now I have millions around the world. It was just me showing up to people, creating that content. And I saw that people started resonating, and following. And I started building trust, a community. The consistency in which I showed up, even when I had a 9 to 5, even if I have to say myself, it should be studied. I showed up every day of the week, even though I had a 9 to 5, I'll continue to say it was hard, but I did it. And then day after day, I started building trust in people. And it's that trust that made people know me, that consistency, And when you have attention, you can turn it into money, into business. So from there, people would then come to me, we want more than these videos you're putting out there. I became somewhat of an authority, and then people wanted me to teach them how to cook, because from the free videos they've been seeing, this lady has got more. We want more from her, And then from there, so I started creating online courses. People started paying for it. Brands, when you give value and brands see you're getting attention, they want to hop on it. They want where the eyeballs are. I started getting brand deals, brand partnerships, sponsorship, and of course, like Hero Daniel said, the revenue from platforms I own. I'm on all platforms. You find me on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere, and all these platforms, they pay. So they also pay. So the interesting thing, or what is important here, is when you consistently dish out value, you'll garner attention and trust. It is that trust that you can now monetize. Thank you.
Thank you. Round of applause for Ify, please. So when you dish out value, you garner trust, and then the trust can be easily monetized into brand deals, and then any from different platforms. So Hero has shared how Nigerian Breweries has sponsored one of his gaming shows, and then Ify as well has shared how she had gotten a lot of brand deals, sold courses, built millions of followers on her platforms just from showing up consistently and putting in the work, even when nobody understood what they were doing and trusted them. So the next question is for XD. So XD, you've built a platform around interpretive music, fashion, and lifestyle, and you have somehow turned your perspective into like a creator brand, and you're on your way to building a viable career path from that. So how did you know that you could do that? Because what you do is so unique, and everybody could see that, it's something I can do, but nobody is really doing what you do. So how did you realize that you could turn it into a content creation brand and then build a viable career path from there?
Okay, first of all, thank you guys for having me here. It's such a good opportunity to learn from Hero and Ify, and the rest of Lagos Games Week. So, my journey in culture, because that's the word that encompasses everything that I talk about, started in from when I was young, but more so professionally in 2019. I started out working out in magazines, managing some first social media manager, and then I got to a point where I started managing a magazine called D's Magazine, and I did that for about 2 to 3 years before I left. What I realized was this magazine and a lot of the work that we're doing on all those other platforms, they were giving valuable information and circulating what was going on in pop culture or Afro pop culture. But there was a gap in translating it in a language people could understand. It was always packaged in this very, big grammar. You have to type it out on a website. People mostly just read the headlines. I felt like there was a gaping hole in somebody who was young specifically, because we do have people like Joey Akan, who those are like Egbons, you understand? There was a space for somebody who was young that could translate everything that was going in terms of current affairs, culture, that could bridge the gap and get that information to people. And that's kind of how it started. So I just started on TikTok, first of all, 4 times a day for months, And it was after like a month or two that video started like really taking off. And then, ever since then, it's just been that. Just staying on top of everything and using that as a vehicle to... Initially, it was just for culture, I just wanted to just get the word out there. But of course, you have to eat. So then that's when I started, being a bit more strategic about it. Started reading books on marketing. Seth Godin, This is Marketing, The Laws of Branding and Marketing by the Reese family, and just things like that. Trying to understand, okay, how does positioning work? How does, like, this thing that I'm doing, how can I put it in a way whereby, like, I could actually make a living out of it? And that's pretty much it.
All right, thank you. Round of applause for XD. And you're doing so well with that. Okay, the next round of questions, I'll be going first to Ify. So let's bring it home. We're talking about gaming today. So gaming creators are currently faced with the challenge of growing audiences in a niche or a field that is not yet mainstream. So people don't know so much about the gaming industry yet, especially with creators. And you were one of the first people, like you said, that started food content creation on Instagram, even before it became a thing in Nigeria. So how were you able to lend your voice to make it popular and then start intentionally growing community around food content creation before it became something that we all know today?
Okay, so speaking as a creator in the creator economy, and I've been here for well over 10 years now, I can say I understand how it works. So the gaming economy is relatively new. It's, getting into mainstream, as people who are getting into the creator economy or starting in an industry that is relatively new, I would say don't chase attention or virality. Don't. Look at what happened here. Let me give you an example. When we came, after the first panel, before ours, they introduced us, people clapped, and then when it was our turn, a lot of people left, and then you guys are here. You guys right now, you're my community. You stayed. So that's what attention is. People, you have a viral video, they watch and then they move. Your community are the ones that stay behind to listen to you, to hear what you have to say. But before you build this community, what do they actually stay for? They stay for the way you make them feel. So this gaming, whatever industry you are in, it's how you make your community feel that turns them into your people. And when they become your people, they're the ones that will sing your praises to people, and then, they'll help you spread your name everywhere. So the first thing you should do is get a niche, right? Don't worry about audiences, plenty of them. Don't worry. If it happens along the way, good for you. But you should be focused on building the people you call the inner circle, that community. They're the ones that would help you. And how do you do that? You need to show up consistently. I mean, right from the first question, I've been talking of the word consistently. It is very important because when people trust that you would show up, then they feel like they're part of you. They know you. And then listen to your audience. When they give you feedback, take it. And don't just when you create content, it's not content that you want. I mean, that's good. But you, of course, you start with content you want, but listen to your community. And then when they point you in directions, listen. I'll take myself, for example. I started my journey by sharing pictures, right, on Instagram, pictures, and then just putting the recipe in the caption. And then someone was like, all these pictures you people are showing us, how will we get to know how to cook it? And then I took it and I ran with it. I did not like I woke up saying I'm going to start creating video. It was feedback from someone in the comment section that has brought me where I am today. So please listen to your community. Don't speak at them, speak to them. Let them participate. Ask questions. Treat them like your friends. If there's anyone following me here today, you know one thing. When people ask me questions or leave a comment on my page and any of those platforms, I would respond. Why? Because I see you as my friend and, we're in this together. And when you see me as that, you become my community member. You're interested in what I'm doing. I take you through every season of my life and we start growing from there. You are there, you help me. And let me tell you something, right? Do not wait as someone coming up in the industry. Don't wait for your niche area to become mainstream. Be the reason why that area, that niche becomes mainstream, like I did. So, yeah, that's what I'll say.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, you can.
Can I add to that? 'Cause,
Yeah.
so I really like video games, and I game a lot, like very often. So I would say something I do see in video game creators, people who do video game content creation, is when I think of people like Hollow Points, the Rad Brad, or Afro Senju, to name just a few. I think something that's important to put in mind is language in terms of how you could translate how people, because gaming is already big in like US, for example, or UK. How people there consume content is different from how people here would consume gaming content. So looking at what they are doing and how they've been successful and how you could translate that to a language that Nigerians could understand would also help a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then again, it's very important that you tell people, because gaming industry, like I said, is new. A lot of people don't yet understand what you're doing. So it's important as you keep showing up, keep explaining, keep educating your audience till they fully understand what you're doing. And when that area, that discussion, that conversation, that topic comes up anywhere, you're the first person they will think about.
Thank you so much, Ify and XD. So just like they said, have a niche. A lot of people think that having a niche is not important in today's world, because now we have like lifestyle creators that every day they are doing Get Ready With Me and they're getting brand deals and all that. But when it comes to like the creator economy, you need to be known for something. The way If is known for food, Hero is known for his gaming and entertainment, and X is known for culture. People need to know where you stand. So identify yourself as a gaming creator. Speak in the language that they understand, just like Ify has said. So personalize it to our market. X said that you could have mentors in America, in Canada, and the US. See how they do theirs, but learn how to translate it into Nigeria, because our market is quite unique. Even for business owners, it's quite unique. So just like I said, and then learn on the journey. People keep giving feedback. Okay, your videos can be like this. You can make it look like this. So accommodate all the feedback, translate that into your kind of content that you share, and then little by little, just like SD did, you can even start posting like 4 times a day, like he said. Because right now the market is saturated. There are lots of people putting out content. To really get people's attention, you need to go over and beyond. Because someone I know always says that you can plant a tree on social media right now and nobody's going to see it, because there's so much noise online. So to stand out, you need to increase your capacity. Do more, shop more, have a niche, translate it into how we're going to understand, and then find ways to make yours unique. It could be like having like a closing point, or like Hero always talks about love. People know him as, the singles love doctor, something like that. Just so that your brand is personalized, people can remember you, and then you're memorable as well. So I wanted to ask a question about cultural relevance, but I think you've touched it. So, Hero Daniels,
Yes.
The next question is for you. Okay. So I wanted to ask that you've done several gaming formats, right? So what makes you to keep going back to, okay, you've mentioned what makes you to keep going back to gaming, but I'm saying like, how do you ensure that your next game show still keeps the kind of audience that you have engaged till the end?
Okay. You said I'd mentioned the reason why I keep going back to gamification, and I'm going to mention it again. It's money. Yeah. If he has said, oh, you need to be passionate about what you're doing, of course, that's the first point. When you're passionate about what you're doing, when the money, when the accolades, when the attention is not coming, because you love what you do, you're going to keep showing up. But eventually, passion without profits can lead to poverty. Creativity without cash can be a cage. Because if you don't have money, how are you going to express that creativity? I was having a conversation with my assistant, and I was saying, okay, we've been using our DSLR Sony cameras, for a while now, about 2 years. And I just had to Google, like, what cameras do sidemen use to film their content? For sidemen, they're just a group of, young creators in the UK. And I saw FX3, Sony FX3. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I called my equipment guy. Hello, how much is it? He said, 5 million naira for just the camera body alone, right? Where am I heading with this? Eventually, you want to have the money to put out quality content. Why do I keep going back? Because I've seen that gamification of any process, because it's Lagos Games Week, a lot of people are talking about video games, a lot of people are telling you how to create video games, how to commercialize the video games. But if you're a content creator, there's also gamification of content. I see the future, and I want to position myself and my company as one of the leading people that sort of brings the gamification to Africa. Now, look at what's happening globally. A lot of game shows are being bought. Initially started with YouTube. People took YouTube like a joke. Everybody was just on traditional media. I was also on traditional media. I'm still in traditional media. The budgets for the game shows that I've hosted on traditional media, we're talking about billions of naira. Mega sponsors, big studios, right? But after 2 seasons, 3 seasons, you see that this guy starts pulling funding because the eyeballs are moving from traditional TV to social media. And this happened first globally. And obviously right here is even happening. A lot of the cable networks are struggling to sell subscriptions, are struggling to sell their decoders. The eyeballs are now on social media. Now, globally, the streamers, Netflixes, the Primes, they are beginning to acquire game shows from these YouTube creators. Like before, the creators will want to be on streaming, or be on TV. Right now, the streamers are depending, even traditional TV, they're also depending on content creators to get the eyeballs back. Beast Games was commissioned by Prime Video. That is a gamification content. And Mr. Beast was always known for gamifying his content, but not at that scale, right? Netflix also acquired Sidemen's reality show. It also has, gamification as well. How many shows have been acquired that the IP is originally like African or Nigerian? None. So the reason why I keep going back, I'm investing into the future. I want to be able to position myself where if they're talking about creators that have, gamified shows or game shows, I'll be able to position myself to be in that future. We'll be able to sell original IPs like Beat for Love. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Beat for Love. Beat for Love is a love game show where you can buy your man or you can buy your woman. They say love is transactional. Let's see how love can be transactional. So what is the value you are placing on this particular person? So it has never been done before in the world. It's not like we decided to copy a particular format and just sort of rechange it. You can Google it. It has never been done. And I needed to release a couple of episodes so that nobody will come tomorrow and say, you stole my idea. I needed to make sure that I put it, no matter the quality, I just needed to make sure that, okay, we established that this is an original intellectual property that belongs to Ito Media, which is my company, right? So that's the same. I'm positioning myself for the future. And yes, there's currently profits in gamifying contents. Pop the Balloon. You guys know about Pop the Balloon. There's even a debate as to where it really started. But Aleta Muli, who is a creator, in the US. I know also, shout out to Nosmerias that does it as well in Nigeria. We've also done a couple of episodes of Pop the Balloon. But Aletta Moli was approached by Netflix, and they had to, buy that format. She produced it with her husband, and Yvonne Orji actually sort of hosted it. Even though it didn't perform as well as the YouTube version for certain reasons, I mean, they smiled to the bank, So a lot is happening in that space. We cannot just sit back and wait for the world to recognize Africa. We need to be able to sort of have our authentic original ideas that we can even potentially franchise and export to the rest of the world, because the goal is to make sure that formats are global. We can have local content because we're Nigerians, we're Africans, we're authentic, but it has to also be something that like we should be able to have a Chinese version, an Indian version, like something that is scalable, something that can be replicated irrespective of the language, irrespective of the culture, and that's exactly what we're doing.
All right, thank you so much, Hero Daniel. So you've heard from him. Find something that's exportable to other markets. Make it local, but then globally exportable, that there can be a Chinese version, Indian version. Someone in the US might even want to replicate, and it could be bought by, Netflix, Universal Studios, something from the gaming industry. So this is time for audience Q&A, just for 5 minutes. If anyone has a question, please raise your hand and we'll get the mic to you. Thank you.
Okay. My question goes to... Sorry, the beautiful wig is covering the name, so I can't see.
Ify's Kitchen.
Okay.
It's Kitchen. Her name is Ify's Kitchen.
No, Daniel's.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about protecting IP. Okay. And that's actually where I think most of us don't care about or don't understand. What is the implication of, let me just put it out there first, how far does that protect the IP? Do you understand the question?
I understand. Okay, so the reason why, because when it comes to the creative industry, intellectual property is very subjective. If I create a show or I have an idea and I call it a particular name, all you need to do is just change the name, right? And tweak one or two things. And even if I sue you to court, I can't win because, it's creativity. It's like, it's art, right? And that was why it was important for me to clearly, so it's not just about having the idea. I needed to have the idea and I wanted to execute the idea and have a digital footprint of the idea. As to my due diligence with the Copyright Commission, of course, there are laws, and if you want to copyright your content, they'll give you several classes. You copyright the name, like just a bunch of stuff to protect yourself legally, right? But even at that, protecting yourself legally doesn't just stop there. You also need to put it out there, because if somebody picks up your idea, changes a few things, maybe the title, the name, and maybe just a few areas, right? I was having a conversation with somebody and I saw a content, Buzz for Love, right? I think it was by, I don't want to mention the Buzz, but basically it's the same format with Pop the Balloon, so to say, right? But the only thing that changed was you replaced the balloons with a buzzer, right? And then Beat for Love actually started with a buzzer. So the idea of Beat for Love is, they bring a bachelor, you give them questions about the bachelor, they answer, they win money, and then they use the money to bid for the bachelor. And when they see the bachelor, they can decide to buzz if they don't like the bachelor. So if you look at those two content formats, you could see that there's a huge similarity. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there are buzzers here, there are also buzzers here. But you can't say they copied Beat for Love because nobody's bidding for a bachelor. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So when it comes to the creative industry, that's why they say you can steal like an artist and nobody is going to say, you stole my idea. The most important thing is if you have an idea, try to have a digital footprint. Put out a demo. In fact, I've pitched something to a TV station, right? I gave them the entire thing. They called me, we had a meeting, we had, budgeting and everything. We didn't agree on the budget. Guess what? Few months later, like 4 months later, I saw the exact same show. They were executing that same show with another production company with the same guests that I recommended for that particular show. And then I can't sue them. I can't sue them because they tweaked the name, they've changed a few things here and there, but they've taken the idea. So if that particular show, if I had already done it and I have a digital footprint, I even have a better chance of even bringing it to the courts of social media and say, oh, look at it, I'll put my own clip here, put their own clip here, and start comparing or whatever. And, for corporate brands that want to protect their image, they might as well decide to just sort of settle internally or whatever it is. So that's it. So, yeah, protecting your intellectual property is good on paper, but it's also very important to have a digital footprint of that idea.
This is deep.
Okay, so I want to add something really quickly. Even though people can tweak the game or whatever it is you want to do, whatever drama, gameplay, whatever it is, please, please, please go and protect the name, your name. Because there's so many uncouth people. Your show is doing so well out there, Like, I just recently launched a show, Food Therapy. It's doing well. People love it. Somebody there who does not care about morals could go and, start Food Therapy again, the same format, and then people are confused. The whole aim is to confuse people. Is this Ify's Kitchen's Food Therapy or... But, they've just seen Food Therapy and it's the same format. Okay, this must be Ify's Kitchen's Food Therapy. They can even get brand deals, selling merchandise in that. So it's very important you protect the name as well, especially under the class of the specification of what you're doing. Protect the name. So if anyone comes out with that same name, not only can you sue, you can also bring it to the court of social media, like they said, because that name is yours. There's some ideas you have that name you've taken is the only name that will look so good. Any other thing, so people want to take that name. They want to steal the idea. They just want to steal your identity. All means protect it. Like a creator, especially budding creators, we're just very excited to put something out there that has gone viral. People, the eyeballs are on you, attention. Please, your intellectual property is very important. So for the mere fact that you're here today, if you take away anything, take away the fact that you should start thinking like a business owner. Okay? The future you want. So don't get too excited and get carried away. Protect your ideas and your name. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
very much.
Ify.
There is a contribution here and a question here.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Ehis, and I am an entertainment lawyer. So when he said what he said, it just raised a lot of things. I just want to contribute to what you have said. You have answered very, very importantly. And yes, I just wanted to add to that is that anything that you have created, especially when it's copyright, as long as you have put it into a medium, such as a book or a film, it has already been copyrighted according to the laws, right? But the only thing is that you want to take a step further to now say, I want to go to copyright it and copyright commission. That's one. And another very important thing that you have to do is that before you go into that meeting, before you share your idea, creatives, I work with creatives every day, and they're very, very excited to share their idea. Before you do that, just a simple NDA would just cover everything. And yes, an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, that I have written this thing and I've sent it to you, you cannot use it. And then if they use their idea, that NDA that they've signed, and because of what the Copyright Commission have said, that if it's already in a medium, you cannot infringe on that, then you sue, and you even sue for money more than you thought you were going to make. I just want to say that I'm an entertainment lawyer, and if you have any other questions or you want to work with me, I'm here and I would work with you too.
Thank you
I
so
like
much.
it. She plugged
entertainment
herself
lawyer.
in.
Let me tell you something. The anyhowness of Nigeria exists. That is very correct. But you should be able to fight for yourself. I had a case in court. Someone used my name on a product without my authorization, without giving me any money, without nothing, and I sued, and 6 years after, I got justice in my favor. So the court system works. You just need to want to fight for yourself and have the patience and want to see it all the way through. Don't be afraid.
Ify,
If he's
I
a
have
lawyer,
plenty
so
people to
that's
see.
why.
Oh.
I mean,
Remember,
te-
she's a lawyer.
Yeah, I have plenty people
the
to
system
especially in
works.
Lagos Island.
The system
In fact,
works.
I went to Ghana and I saw my image in a, what's it called? You know all those boutique. But I look them, they don't get money.
Exactly. You see why I said it's not everybody you go after. Pick your battle. Some people, how much do they give you? Leave them. See those big fish?
Go after them. The next question, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chioma, and my question goes to Ify's Kitchen. Okay, you said you must have a niche, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So what if you're one that dances, that sings, that acts, and you're confused about your niche? How do you find your niche?
Okay, so I mean, everyone is super. Everyone has talent. We have plenty talent, right? So put it out there. You will see that there's some that your community tilt towards. You start getting feedback. You see the one that gets more engagement. You know, maybe brands are coming for that particular. When they come to you, they'll say, "Okay, can you put it in a skit or in a song?" You just see where the pendulum is tilted, and that's where you want to go. Right? So by all means, bring out every single talent you have in the book, display it, and then read the room and know where you want to go.
Exy, I would like you to contribute
Can I
to the
add to that?
question. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to answer that question. As somebody who does and can do a lot of things, I mean, like, I managed a magazine, I've created, directed music videos, like, I've done a lot of stuff.
Speak on it.
Yeah, well, I should speak on this stuff. Okay, I directed a music video for Zeus JDO and Solis's Zeus song. I directed a magazine feature for Corti, for freaking London, Rema's producer, I produced a shoot for Osasi Godairo. Like, I've done a bunch of work aside content. I've also done music. I can do a lot of things. What I will say is you should put... There's something that the owner of Take-Two said. Take-Two is the company that owns Rockstar Games that's doing GTA 6. Sorry, I'm a culture guy. But he said, this is a rough quote. He said, do what you are good at and what you are convincing at, which means you can do a lot of things, yes, but do the one that you can convince people that can gather you the most, leverage, and then use that as a vehicle to do other things. When you think of Donald Glover, who started out as Childish Gambino, a rapper, then now later turned into an actor, then I later turned into a director. You understand? So it's like you use the thing that's most convincing and can gather you the most attention, then use that as a vehicle to enter all the things you want to do. 50 Cent is another great example, who started out as a rapper, now is a businessman, actor, director, writer, a whole bunch of stuff, So yeah.
Troller.
Yeah, so I wanted
True
to add
love.
to that as well. One person that everybody knows is Rihanna. Rihanna started as a singer, but now she's the founder of Fenty Beauty. And we see how much she has put into her business, how her business has grown. People from Nigeria, they use Fenty Beauty. Another creative entrepreneur who's doing so well right now is Kai, the founder of Kai, who is Fisayo Longe. She was a content creator, a fashion girly, sharing her fashion journey online, her pieces, how she matches items. And she has been able to build Kai. And Kai is doing so well right now in the creator economy. So like Ezzy said, start with what you have and then use that to discover other things that you're passionate about and what people are interested in. The last question, please.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary Andrew. As someone that grew up in the late 90s and early 2000s, I believe my generation is stuck in between the old and the new. We are between the millennials. We are millennials. Yeah. So we are between the Z Gen X and the Zs. So one thing I feel like we are having a deficit on right now when it comes to game shows are game shows that brings family together. Like when we were growing up, we had game shows like Gouda Ultimate Search. You did that, bro. Kudos to you. And we had stuff like Multina Family Dance or something that everybody's rushing home to come and watch together. Daddy's coming now. They will bring the fuel on the gen. Mommy too will come out from the room and something like that. But at this point in time, we are having game shows where maybe daddy's watching something, mommy's watching something. Everybody is having a kind of divergent approach to the family thingy. What can we do in this era to bring back game shows that will reunite the family especially in this time where everybody is stuck to their phones, everybody has their own stuff doing and all that. Thank you.
Hero, would you like to take the question?
Oh, yes. Okay, shout out to the millennials in the house. Okay, so you did mention family game shows that early 2000s, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Multinational Dancer, and the rest of it. Those game shows did not stop. I think what changed was consumer behavior, right? Back in those days, social media wasn't as strong as it is now. So you knew that you had to show up at a particular time on a particular day to actually watch the content you love. Super Story, everybody, 8 p.m. on Thursdays. You have to sit down, you have to come together as a family. And because there was just one TV, one screen, you guys have to come together. So what is really fighting those family game shows and content is consumer behavior. Currently, you might not know, Family Feud is a game show. It's airing, even on social media. It's garnering a couple of attention, but it's not as viral, as it's supposed to be. I personally had 2 original game shows that were family-oriented, Complete Niger and Overall Best. Overall Best, I hosted it. Osase Godaro was my co-host, right? It was also a family game show. It was big, produced with billions of naira, and it didn't get as much eyeballs because consumer behavior has changed. Now, the question will now be, how can we make such family game shows viable on social media? Because even within the family these days, how do we come together? Mommy is on her phone, daddy is on his phone, everybody's in their rooms, And this is exactly why I decided to start focusing on human connection. If you notice, like she said, a lot of people refer to me as a relationship therapist or president of single people. No, the umbrella is really human connections. I'm passionate about how people relate to other people. I'm passionate about people coming together. So whether it's intimate connection, whether it's family connection, people are no longer coming together because of social media. Yes, the world is a global village, but we are lonelier than we used to be. So what we now need to do is, how can we now make these kinds of game shows viable on social media? It's just to be able to now interpret the language of the younger people. Because the reason why these game shows are not viable on social media in Nigeria is because we still use the traditional TV format, big sets, proper hosting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the biggest game show. No, people want young people like myself and Yabs, I want to include myself before I retire myself, to just say, hey, what's up, Wagwan? Like, look at Shakai now. Shakai can just say, hey, Wagwan, guys. So that I'm out here, very chilled, very relaxed. There's no strong journalistic approach to it, Demystify these things, break it down. You don't need ambiguous sets. There was one particular content that Shanks did. Shanks, the creator, shout out to him. He brought, I think, mothers versus sons, and it was such a beautiful content to see. I also know that Cruise TV, shout out to Cruise as well. Cruise, they spark up conversations, when it comes to, you can see they'll bring 2 exes together, they can bring a father and a son together, and they face each other, and they have really, really strong conversations, And when I saw that, I'm like, yes, this is the way to go. This is how to start taking that traditional format and just sort of breaking it down and making it easy for people to consume. So yeah, how we're going to do it is, let's just demystify it, break it down. You don't need a big budget to actually do something great. So for the creators out there, if you have an idea you can decide to do a family game show. Okay, moms versus dads, dads versus Gen Zs, all of that. And you'll be shocked at how viral it will become.
Okay, so just to add to what he said, those family game shows still exist very much. I recently did one, Unfiltered and Extra Spicy. You'll find it on YouTube. It's a game show the whole family loves. So what I think people should do is to become more intentional, to have that family thing. And yeah, like I said, consumer behavior has changed everything, but we need to be more intentional. Maybe come together with your family every Saturday, 6 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., whatever time you guys choose, so that you can recreate those days, Luckily, YouTube, these days, everybody's watching it on big screen now on their TV.
Yeah.
So put it on, come together with your family, popcorn, and get back that, togetherness, that family thing. And the good thing is, unlike traditional media, once it's past 8 p.m. or 9 or 10 o'clock, once that program, that time slot is done, that's it till next week. YouTube, go there anytime, any day, anyhow you want it, is there. So it is now us, you and I, to create that family time. What if it is family game show? There are too plenty now. Unfiltered and extra spicy, guys.
Yes,
on
watch Unfiltered
YouTube,
and Extra
Ify's Kitchen's
Spicy on
channel.
YouTube.
All right, check it out.
A round of applause for our panelists, please.
Very important.
So I have a question for Ify. So a lot of the work that you have done from a cultural standpoint is documenting and archiving authentic Nigerian African recipes. And again, from a cultural standpoint, I want to ask, where do you see gaps in food culture in Nigeria? Where do you see, because as somebody that documents culture, there are a lot of things that happen that I don't talk about, and man, I can't cover everything at the end of the day. So where do you think there are gaps and holes in food culture, and how those holes can be filled?
Okay, so right now, many of us have forgotten in fact, we don't even know, not even forgotten, recipes that our fathers, our mothers used to create. They are no longer in existence. We're now following the trend. Somebody's coming out there, oh, this cucumber salad, this, it's so nice. We've forgotten what we used to eat. What the culture is. African culture is slow cooking, togetherness, ingredients, fresh, from the farm or from, wherever you want to get it. But that's Africa, that's the culture. So what Ify's Kitchen does now to bridge that gap, to still retain culture, document it like you rightly said, I have a show called Real Women, Real Food, where I go to meet, people who are elderly, people, custodian of culture. They come to show you how to cook. The everyday ordinary woman, they show you these ingredients, these recipes, why it is there, what it is used for, how to create wholesome meals for your families. So I'm trying to play my own part, to get these people, document the process, and put it out there on social for everyone to watch. Let's not just go with a trend, We have our culture, and I'm playing my part to document this culture. You guys follow Ify's Kitchen and watch. Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Faith. My question is directed towards Ify. So you mentioned that you had a 9 to 5 when you started, and then you also mentioned showing up consistently. So one of my challenges, having to create content and also working and being a student as well, is I think time management. And I think she asked a question regarding, was it showing up constantly or something, but you didn't touch on the time management and how you're able to manage all those things. So, yeah.
That is an amazing question. And that question, a lot of people struggle with it. I struggled with it as well. But whatever you want to do, you'll find the time. And I tell people, I might be a bit tough with people when people say, oh, there was no time. It's not true. There is time. The question is, how bad do you want it? How important is it to you? How did I do it? I go to work in the morning, 6 a.m., big traffic. I'm at work till, of course, they say 9 to 5, but we're in Nigeria. We know it's more like 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., And then you get back home, you're tired. All you want to do is to eat and then go to bed. But you see, 9 to 5 is for your employers, right? What happens after 5 p.m. is your life, is what you want, okay? So after you get back, whether 8 p.m. or 5 p.m., 9 p.m., please do not go to bed. Start working. And I'm telling you this because it is my life. It is a lived experience. So I get back at 8 p.m. and I'm in the kitchen till 1 a.m., 2 a.m., creating content. And then I go to sleep for a few hours, and next morning, I'm up again. On my way to work, I'm editing my videos to put. Yeah, at the time, until, I grew to have a team. At the time, I was doing it all. After work, I would stop at a shop, a grocery store, buy grocery, go back home, prep. It was crazy. So do you now see where I say I have zero tolerance for people who give excuses. No, I can't take it because I know what I did. I know how hard and how difficult it was. My weekend, my social life was non-existent because Saturday and Sunday, I needed to create content to give myself breathers, during the week or stuff. It was insane. I needed to show up my 9 to 5 and be there physically present, emotionally, mentally, and then I get home and do my stuff. It was crazy, but am I glad I did it? Yes. Is it paying off? Absolutely. So,
Thank you so much.
And to add to what she said, she was also married at that
Yeah.
time. So there was, you are not married. The way I'm looking at you, you are single, babe. You understand? So even that your man that say he does not have time for you, well, he does not prioritize you. But that's, by the way, just a joke. Batch creates. Batch creates. You can never go wrong with batch creating. Do you understand? Me, I do 1,001 things. I think first things first, I'm a business person above every other thing else. And sometimes it's very hard to still get in front of the cameras and, get this party started. But, while I'm still running the numbers behind the scenes, it's important that I batch create like mad. So I don't know what content you're doing. It's even easier now because it's short form. You can create 20 pieces of short form content in one day or even more. And then there's AI now. Just in terms of brainstorming, it's easy. Just put it out there. Analyze the algorithm, look for best performing videos, and adapt. Give me 20 topics to talk about. When the AI gives you the 20 topics, still tell the AI, all right, write the script for me. Then what you now do is you pick each script and then you put it in your own language. Another hack is just to also personally go on whatever platform you want to post it on and search that particular niche. So if it's food, for example, look for the top performing videos on food, right? Take that video, check the comment section. What are people talking about? What was the hook? What made people stay to watch that particular video? And all you need to do is just adapt it with your own authenticity. Copy like an artist. And you see your videos performing well, like magic.
X, did you want to contribute to the last question?
So can you repeat the question again one more time? Just to...
Was asking how to stay
Okay,
consistent.
yes.
What
Okay, so when I did start making content, I was still managing Deeds Magazine. And if you know Deeds Magazine, you know that Deeds Magazine has operations in Canada, New York, London, Nigeria, So one thing I would just do is sit down. I wake up early in the morning, literally by 5, because a lot of times the meetings you even have, you want to talk to the manager of this artist that's in another country, and that meeting is happening 1 a.m. But I wake up early in the morning, and I'll just crank out like 6-7 videos in like an hour. So batch creating, as Hero said, is super important, and at the same time, it's like just finding the time,
Please, guys, I beg you. I want to say something. I know some of you are probably saying, but they say I should sleep 7 to 8 hours. Is your name Elon Musk? Please, sleeping is good, right? But, you're dealing with the limited time you have. So you've got to be smart and reduce. Don't sleep too much.
All right, thank you so much, Ify. So we have one round of questions, the last for the three of you. So we've talked about consistency, talked about creating IP formats. Now we've even talked about habits and how to intentionally be a creator. So the last question is about monetization. I know we briefly touched on that, but I hear people say content creators, when they start making money, they just splurge and then spend a lot of money. So the last question is for three of you. Many people understand the passion part, but not necessarily the profit part. So what's one thing aspiring creators consistently misunderstand about making money in content creation? So when the money starts coming in, what do they do? Hero, you can go first.
Okay, so when the money starts coming in, there are two things that can happen. It's either it inspires you to do more, or it makes you just relax because there's money. I remember when Facebook monetization was not open to every creator. So for the selected creators, they were making like, you know, $5K, $10K, $20K, $30K. And then Facebook said, you know what? We're going to open it up for everybody, right? And everybody is now complaining, Facebook, no, they pay money again and all of that because you don't own these platforms, you know? So I think for every creator out there, you need to sort of really focus on making sure that you have a community that is beyond the platforms, because Instagram can take down your page tomorrow, Facebook can take down your page tomorrow, and it might affect your monetization. But when you have a community, you can always monetize. Personally, if I tell you the database of single people I have, it's crazy. Right now, we're in talks to actually sell the database to a dating site and a dating platform. They want to partner, but my partner was like, you know what? Let's hoard this thing. Let's keep building in Africa. Let's keep having this database. And of course, these guys will eventually get married. You know, these guys will eventually get into serious relationships. But whatever the case may be, you are building a very strong, huge database. Now, with that database, we don't even need to do a lot of publicity when we want to do our physical events. Last December, you know, we did over 3,000 people at Landmark, and we didn't do any billboard. We didn't do any. Oh, thank you. So we didn't do any billboards. We didn't do any TV ads. All we just did was, you know, the normal social media ads, and you know, we ran a couple of, you know, ads on Snapchat and even TikTok. We didn't even run Instagram ads, but because we had a huge database, we spammed them like mad. In fact, it got to a point in the market, and I was personally calling, hi, my name is Hero. You know, we have this event. I'm like, oh, Hero! I'm like, bro, sold tickets. I was marketing, like, straight up, like, you know. And you do the math, 3,000 people times the money we sold the tickets for, which I will not reveal. Yeah. You understand? That's it. And that's not even sponsorship money. Yeah. You get? And then for the money that I make off the social media platforms, you know, when I started, I said it's the least in my table, because it's chicken change. Now, for a couple of people, it might be a lot of money, but that money I just reinvest it. And I thought I was crazy until I watched one Mr. Beast's video, and Mr. Beast was saying the exact same thing. If you check Mr. Beast's studio, there is no studio in Africa that is as big as Mr. Beast's studio. It's crazy the amount of cameras that guy has. Every single money he's making off, he puts it back into the business. So if you're a creator, no matter how little that money is, even if it's as little as $1,000, right? $1,000 is about 1.3 million naira. 1.3 million naira can get you a DJI camera. Reinvest it into it. And you have to treat it as a business. And I know there's the challenge of, okay, I'm a part-time creator, I'm a full-time creator. Me, I consider myself a full-time creator, and I also consider myself as a full-time businessman, because it's one umbrella. Do you understand? Yeah. So you need to make sure you are consistently reinvesting the profits that you have into, you know, what you're doing, and create structure. See, that one-man crowd, yeah, it's good to start off like that, but you will burn out. Even if you have to collaborate with your friends, you don't need to have all the money to employ people. You don't have money to employ people, no problem. There's a friend of yours that is a video editor that really likes editing video. Alpha, come now, make we collab. There's a friend of yours that is, you know, a PR specialist that can help you put your brand out there. See, let me tell you, you see all those Yabs left, Tunde Not, and all of that. Some of the creators, you know, they are consistently paying these guys to post their videos. Sometimes you can even decide to do your digital trends. You can go and pay traditional media, right? I'm giving you guys a hack. Go pay traditional media. Let's say you are a food creator, right? Just go. Do top 3 food creators in Africa. Traditional media is maybe like, if you know somebody, maybe 20K, 30K for like a publication, right? Top 3. Carry Ife's Kitchen, put number 1. Don't put yourself as number 1. No. Then carry... I don't know who else I'm going to mention, because it's only Ife's Kitchen that comes to my mind as a top food creator. You can carry another food creator and put as number 3. Insert yourself as number 2. I'm telling you, it's PR strategy. Insert yourself as number 2. Let the do it Vanguard, and guess what? When people are using AI to search top 3 creators, they're not going to analyze Instagram. They're not going to analyze TikTok. It is the traditional news that they will analyze, and your name will be popping up as number 2. Then just go and do fake life. Do a screen launch of the Vanguard, and like, oh my God, thank you, Vanguard, for recognizing me as top 2 creator. All these, you need to get a PR strategist to teach you those things. I'll rest my case.
All right, Ife, one line sentence.
Okay.
Please.
All right, guys. I'm going to align myself with what he said. I was going to talk on the keeping your profit. Don't eat everything. Yes, I know life is getting softer. You're getting the brand deals. The platforms are paying you. The temptation to fly business class is there. Wear the best designer, everything. But hey, guys, you know where you're coming from. You know where you're going to. So save that money. Save it. You know, I mean, I am the executive producer of 2 shows. I have my studio. I haven't gone to the bank for 1 day for a loan. Amen. You know, I'm in the process of bringing my own product into the market. And by God's grace, it's going to be 100% fully funded by Ify's Kitchen. I'm not going to the bank and it's not cheap. So save your money.
My sponsor, please sponsor me.
All right, Exy.
Save your money and invest.
Thank you so much, Ify. Exy, just...
Okay, to add to what they've said, I want to quote, because again, I'm a culture guy, I want to quote Virgil Abloh. He says something about a piece of, let's say this bottled water now. If you take this bottled water and let's say you move the tags and everything, and you put it in, like, let's say, a mechanic workshop, nobody gives a damn. But if you take that same bottle of water and put it in an art gallery, all of a sudden it's, wow, artful. You know, so to align with what Hero said and what Ify said, perception is everything in how you build the world around your product itself. This is something that I think an early creator such as myself can easily, you know, reach. If you build a world around your brand or your product or your content that's appealing, you know, or can command a certain price point, there's a pretty good chance to be able to command the prices that you want to command and get the profits that you want to get, that you can then now reinvest back into the content itself. So I would just say perception does go a long way.
All right, thank you so much, Ify. Thank you, Hero Daniels, and thank you, Yabs. So we've come to the end of this panel session. You've heard everything that they said. Don't eat your profits, invest in your craft, be intentional about showing up. You can have a niche, create IP exportable content, and that's a wrap for today. My name is Favour Onwuka. I'm a strategic partner manager at Woof Studios. Woof Studios Africa is a creative service partner agency that works with African creators to tell their stories better, reach a wide and larger audience, and then export them to global stages. So we are the first African creators that have taken creators to Cannes Lions International Festival, which Ify was one of our speakers last year, and we've done that this year again. So do well. Yeah, Hero is going next year. Thank you so much.